Good morning. Everyone can come in.
Well, I think it's an important race to make sure that we have some, what I think is representative judicial, people instead of people that are bought and sold. So.
Okay. Do you mind going into a little bit more detail what that means regarding these candidates?
Yeah, I think Susan Crawford is the one that has demonstrated that she's balanced and fair in her decisions and her outlook on life for Wisconsin citizens.
Recently, the political landscape has felt like there's been a lot of corruption that I don't think has been fairly well hidden, and it's been very frustrating to me, and also just as a member of the trans community, I don't feel like I have the privilege to avoid voting at the moment.
Great. Can you tell us how that connects to a state Supreme Court election? This is getting a lot of attention.
I think on both sides there's been a lot of attention on this election and like a lot of these state issues and making sure that enforcement of things like voting and how our elections locally are run, that does eventually trickle up to the federal elections.
I think Trump is a abusive bully, and I think that I hope that Wisconsin comes out for somebody that isn't doesn't have a connection to that administration.
It's very positive what the Trump administration is doing, and of course they're backing Brad Schimel, Republican. So again, I think that if a liberal gets in there, they're going to continue to try to destroy Trump's efforts to downsize the government like he wants to. I know that the approach he's doing seems really harsh, and a lot of people wanted it done much slower, but I didn't see another way to do it, really.
For me, it's to support Trump, because I think he's doing a lot of good things, and to this point, he's had a lot of impact. I think more impact than we've had in a long time in this country, and some necessary things that have to happen. And so my vote today was to continue to support him.
The stated objective of one of the Supreme Court candidates is, and they've made no bones about it, they're going to redistrict. They're going to gerrymander a couple of districts, and in order to flip them Democrat, which means 2 more Congress people from Wisconsin, which potentially flips the number in the country, which then derails the Trump agenda. For the first time, somebody on the conservative side, the Republican side, a big donor has come in from out of state. The Democrats have been doing it for many elections. And now all of a sudden it's a big deal because they've got competition. Soros money's been, been funding the Democrats for multiple elections. And now they're all up in arms. How can this happen? There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, should there be this much money spent on a statewide Supreme Court election? Probably not. But we're finally playing the game that the Democrats have been playing. And they're pissed about it, pardon my French.
Fear, and I think fear makes people easier to, I don't want to say control, but a fearful mind is a more malleable mind in the sense of people who are fearing for where their next meal will come from or fearing for what the next year will look like are more open to different potentials for that. And that's a scary thing because it can make people act out of fear as opposed to love and connection.
I think it's more than a little frustrating for a lot of people to have so much outside influence on, state elections. But I think it's important to stay engaged always, especially in off-cycle elections.
I think just like supporting everyday people is more important than people who are supporting Elon Musk or, the multi-billionaires. I think that is important. But yeah, that's sort of my reasoning for Crawford.
I mean, when you've got the richest man in the world coming out and literally trying to buy votes, quote, questionable legality, there's a lot to consider there, we'll say.
It will directly impact us as consumers. Things are going to be more expensive. People are already struggling to afford basic necessities like groceries, let alone larger necessities like healthcare. So it's just going to put the everyday person in a worse position than we might already be before and make things more difficult to afford.
I think there's a huge misconception, especially among the modern day GOP MAGA folks about what tariffs are, what they do, what they're going to impact people. You still have people going out and the president himself saying that other countries pay tariffs. That's just not true. That's not what a tariff is or how it works. They're going to lead to increased prices.